Good morning. My name is Nate and I'm the president of the Stroud's Hospital. As many of you may know, my hospital will be performing the first ever and groundbreaking surgery of an education-ectomy. This will take place tomorrow morning on our patient. I am putting my best doctor, anesthesiologist, and nurse on it. I know these ladies will succeed. In this surgery, we are hoping to cure our patient the American education system by performing an education-ectomy. I've watched this patient suffer for a while, and my team and I have been working tirelessly to try and find a cure for our patient. There are many factors that contribute to this illness, such as social economic status, family breakups, standardized testing, and a few educational reforms. During this surgery, we are planning to remove the corrupt parts and replace the old parts with new, up-to-date parts. Things have not been right for a long time, and we believe this is what caused our patient to come down with education-itis. We're expecting the surgery to take quite a bit of time, as we need to go in and do so much. It will take so much time that we will have to split the surgery up into a couple of days. Since the surgery will be extensive, the treatment after the surgery will be extensive. The patient will have to keep up with things and not let them go back to what they were. We don't want her to relapse. I believe in my team, and I believe that they will do their best in trying to cure our patient and her education-itis. Thank you.
Hi, I'm here to get my education-ectomy done today in hopes to cure my education-itis. I've been suffering for quite some time now, and I hope that the doctor and nurse can finally cure my condition. It's been a long time coming, and I'm tired of suffering.
Alright, I'll go ahead and get you checked in, and the nurse will take care of you from there. Hi, I'll be your nurse today, and I will be assisting the doctor today in her surgery. If you want to follow me, we can go and get you back to the area where we'll give you your anesthesia.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Alright, this is Destiny, our anesthesiologist, and she'll be administering the anesthesia today.
Hi, nice to meet you. Because of the length and extensiveness of your surgery, we will be administering quite a bit of anesthesia into you. The medication we will be administering into you is in the form of an education reform. This reform is called the Education Professionals Development Act.
This reform is very important. It has the effect of attracting top quality people capable of improving education during short and long-term assignments in this profession.
To make sure they are teaching these kids the right information and in the best way they possibly can. We don't want teachers going into our schools and not really teaching our children all they need to know. All right, now count backwards from 10 for me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
I know you all may be worried about this surgery. You have every right to be. But I would just like to let you know that she is in great hands. I have confidence in my team and I that we will cure your daughter with her education-itis. Since this is going to be a very long surgery, we will have to administer a large amount of anesthesia.
The medication we are administering into her, we are hoping will stick with her as they are bases to a strong education system. The first one is the Education Professional Development Act. The second one is the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. And the third one is the Horace Mann Reform, or also known as the Common School Movement.
You have no reason to worry. We will take great care of her. We have done a lot of research to make sure it's effective and that it works. My team and I have spent countless hours researching them.
So how are you feeling after your first surgery?
I feel so much better. I'm glad we fixed this issue. Now we have teachers who are teaching for the right reason and are passionate about it. They are impacting these kids and making sure they are getting a good education and aren't just in it for the vacations and holidays. Shirley Huffstedler, a former U.S. Secretary of Education, once said, "The role of the teacher remains the highest calling of a free people. We ask that the children be prepared to face the rigors of individual participation in a democratic society. There is so much more that needs to be done, though, so I'll be back shortly to get the rest of my operations done."
Hi, I'm here to get my next surgery done.
Alright, I'll get you checked in, and the nurse here will take you back.
Okay.
You can come with me.
Hi, nice to see you again. So today, because of the length and time of your surgery, we will be administering quite a bit of anesthesia into you again. Like I said before, the medication will be in the form of an educational reform. This reform is called the Progressive Education Movement. It's an educational system that allows flexibility in learning procedures based on activities determined by the needs and capacities of the individual child, the aim of which is to integrate academic with social development.
This reform has a strong emphasis on a few things such as learning by doing hands-on projects, problem solving and critical thinking, group work and development of social skills, collaborative and cooperative learning projects.
The next issue we'll be facing today is how schools are ran. Schools are seen as an agency that weans children from the protective warmth of the families and trains them for what society has decided is useful work. It also considers a place where they fix your minds so you think like everyone else. That is not what our schools need to be like. A school is a place where children should fall in love with learning and exploring who they really are and who they can become.
Children should have freedom to develop naturally. A student's development must be measured scientifically and not just by grades.
When children are measured by standardized testing and not by who they actually are and what they actually do, a child can be restricted. There shouldn't be a test that are just based off of a kid's intelligence, who they are off of what their reading and math tests say. There could be a kid that is an expert in music but bad in math, and when only testing in math and reading, it's not showing the kids real abilities. It's not fair. It's something that has to be previously worked on, but clearly hasn't been fixed.
This is such a big issue today, and we hope that we can fix this issue by allowing kids to show their full potential and not just be based off a reading or math test. In order to fix this issue, we are going to require that federal and state governments need to abolish the standardized tests as they clearly don't show who the kid really is. Kids that are falling behind when it comes to required material they need to know to pass the next grade should be worked with more one-on-one and getting more help from parents or guardians at home. When it comes to standardized testing, yes, there should be some required material on it that the kids need to know, but it should also have a section for the kids to show who they really are.
In order to fix this, I'm going to remove part of the brain that is so strung up on children being robots and can't think for themselves and be creative. By removing part of the brain, it will make kids be able to be kids again and focus more on social development rather than academic development. Academic development is important, but to a certain extent. Kids need to be kids.
So how are you feeling after this surgery?
I feel a lot better now that we put something in place so these kids are being challenged and tested according to the skills they possess and not just what the state is testing them on. Now that that part of my brain is removed, which sounds weird, but I feel like kids will be able to be kids again and explore through collaborative and cooperative learning projects and hands-on projects that test their creativity. Although this will be an ongoing issue and something we will have to keep up with over time because it is not going to change overnight. Thank you so much for fixing this problem and putting a plan in place that has been needed for such a long time. Hi, I'm here for the third part of my surgery.
All right, I'll get you checked in and the nurse will go ahead and take you back.
Hi, nice to see you again. You're looking really good. I'm glad the operations we have already done have been working and have healed you with part of your educationitis. You want to follow me? We can come on back.
Hi, nice to see you again. Alright, now today we will be doing two different things during your surgery, which means instead of administering one reform, we will be giving you two. The first one is the Horace Mann reform. With this, we are hoping that every child can have a free education that will be funded by local taxes. The second educational reform we will be giving you is the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. This act is providing more funding for education.
Horace Mann advocated for local property taxes to finance public schools and state-sponsored public education, including a statewide curriculum. The Horace Mann reform also argued that it would turn unruly children into disciplined children. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act will allocate over $100 billion in funding towards K-12 educational institutions. It also gives $45 billion to school districts and states to pay for teacher salaries and educational programs.
Kids that wouldn't have been able to afford an education are now able to. And classrooms that don't have the right materials because of money are now able to have those materials with the American Recovery and Investment Act. Alright, you know the drill. Count backwards from 10.
We are more than halfway done with the major things we need to cure. I am so glad we've been able to help her so far as it's showing. We are making a huge change and everything is going according to plan. I couldn't be more proud of our work.
I couldn't agree more. The American education system is changing for the better, and I'm so glad we are the ones who are able to be doing it.
Obviously, our kids are the top priority when it comes to schools, but we can't forget about the teachers and schools as a whole. Teachers are very much so underpaid. So today I put in a plan to put a rod in her left leg. By putting this in, I'm putting a procedure in place to pay teachers more than what they are currently being paid. Teachers are the foundation to every career out there. Without teachers, we wouldn't have astronauts or engineers or even doctors. Teachers deserve way more than what they are making. So by putting this rod in, I will put in a plan in place to pay teachers more.
I can't wait to see this being put into effect as it is much needed. For so long, teachers have been underpaid and there needs to be a change.
With the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, it will also give schools money to put up-to-date technology in the schools, materials the kids need to use, and overall keeping schools running. So with this rod being put in place, it will help with funding tremendously.
So how are you feeling now?
I'm honestly feeling so much better. You guys have seriously helped me so much. And I couldn't be more thankful. I'm so glad that you put this rod in to help the teachers pay and funding schools in general. Teachers deserve so much more than what they are being paid. Without them, people wouldn't be educated. Charles Carrot once said, "When we become really mature, grown-up, wise society, we will put our teachers at the center where they belong. We don't honor them enough. We don't pay them enough." One last surgeon, I think we're good to go. Hi, hopefully it's the last time you see me here for a while.
Alright, I'll get you checked in and you can head back with the nurse.
Are you ready for your last part of your surgery today?
I know it sounds weird, but I'm excited for surgery. I'm really excited for finally getting rid of my education-itis.
Let's walk back.
Are you ready for your last dose of anesthesia?
Yes, ma'am, I am. I can't believe after this I'll officially be done and cured of my education-itis.
Alright, since this isn't as big of a surgery as the other ones, I won't be giving you as much as you're used to. This is just a minor surgery today. Go ahead and count backwards from 10 for me, please.
These surgeries have surpassed my expectations. I am so glad we have been able to help her so far, and all of these surgeries have been a success. All right, now, let's get started with our last one. Aside from school, the home is being the biggest place for development in kids. Depending on how you've grown up, your environment you've grown up in can also impact how you develop.
When it comes to socioeconomic status, that is a big factor in how a kid will succeed in school. If a kid grows up in a low socioeconomic status home, they may not have books on hand to read, materials to do homework with, or materials to take to school with, which can be a huge factor in a child's success. If you grow up in a medium to high socioeconomic status household, you had books and other materials to use to help with development.
Aside from socioeconomic status, you also have family relationships to which can take a toll on children, development, and their schooling. When a family is broken up, it can be hard on kids. They are constantly switching from household to household, from one parent and may be more supportive than the other. So I'm going to put an extra vein in the left arm this time. This is going to be entirely for encouragement. Teachers can encourage the students to make sure not to forget their homework at their mom or dad's house next time they leave.
And to also encourage those kids that come from a lower socioeconomic household to work a little harder or read one extra book while at school because they won't be getting it at home. If these kids are being affected developmentally by their home lives, teachers need to step in and give that extra encouragement to those kids to just work a smidge harder because they know these kids won't be getting any extra help at home.
Alright, that was officially your last surgery. How are you feeling right now and in general?
I could not be any happier. I'm so glad you guys were able to help me with my education-itis. I have been suffering for such a long time, and I couldn't be any more thankful for you guys for helping me. Everything you've done is going to help tremendously with education.